We're back.
Hey.
We're back. And Zaz is, thank you, Zaz, for joining us. And now, boom, we've got Garrison.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
So we are here. We had Brandon, he had checked in, but now I think because we went out, he went on. But he showed up to give you support earlier when we were live.
Brandon Philpott?
Yeah, no, Mosier.
Mosier,
Yeah,
right.
He was on. So maybe he'll come back up on and say hi. And we're sorry we went down, but we are back. So what's going on? What's coming up soon with the experience and with your work and with everything you're doing? Like, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's do say well, it's not the best for last, but I'll talk about Uncontained Studios first. So
awesome.
My father and a wonderful worship leader and artist named Israel Barba are opening a music studio called Uncontained Studios.
And who's your father?
Father's Gary Krohn. He goes by Gary Violin sometimes. Violinist
awesome
around here. Thank you. Yeah, he's incredible. And he was playing at Redwood Covenant Church with Andy Cater for a while. And he just kind of hops around the churches a lot. But so yeah, the recording studio should be open in about 2 months. We keep pushing the deadline back because that's
the way
how
it rolls.
things happen.
That's right.
Yeah, that is much to our dismay. We're just like itching to make music all the time, but we have to soundproof things, and there's so many details.
Did you hear about at the will call? It took him 3 years, I think 3 or 4 years to open his doors.
Oh my gosh!
But he
Not
persevered.
surprised.
And hey, Richard. Hey, Brandon's back on.
Hey,
woo, woo.
My boy. What's up, Brandon? Brandon and I are supposed to hang out in like 10 minutes.
Sorry, Brandon. We will. We'll just keep him here for a couple of minutes. Yeah. Our connection went down, so we had to hoof it over to another coffee shop. Hey, Patrick, thanks for joining back in. So, so that's so cool. So, yeah, he persevered for 4 years before the will call just opened up.
Oh my gosh.
So, awesome.
Hey,
good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
So that's awesome. So you guys in a couple months is when you're thinking you're going to open back up your studio. And what was the name of that studio again?
It's called Uncontained. Like you can't contain us. You can't contain art. There's no containing God.
That's right.
So yeah, we're shooting on being open in a couple months, and it's state of the art. We've got incredible microphones. We've got a wonderful space, super vibey.
It is so good. That's state-of-the-art space. It's clean. Yeah.
For the older crowd, it's like very, very clean and very, very artsy as well. It's a great space to make music in, and we want to invite artists to come and let us collaborate in what they're already doing. And
help produce.
Yeah, we want to produce it. We've got producers and engineers.
And don't you have videography all set up where people are recording, they can be videoed and everything?
We do. Yeah, there's a bunch of different spots. In the way the room is set up, there's almost like different themes. There's a cork theme, there's a brick theme, and there's just kind of different colors of paint around the room. So there's a bunch of and the drum and vocal booth as well has its own theme.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different spots to shoot video on, and we're going to provide that as well.
Is that where you recorded that track you played first with Brandon? Did you record it there?
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. We love that.
Come Back Home.
That's beautiful.
Was recorded there. Yeah, we redid everything there. Had a blast with Brandon Mosier, and that's a perfect segue into the next event or the next topic.
Yeah.
So Cassie Longshore.
Yeah.
Marino.
Yeah.
She came. We went to young adults together at the Rock. So I've known Cassie for a minute, but she basically kind of got this vision or idea.
I will tell you how she got this.
Please.
Well, I mean, I think she had some of this beforehand, but she came to a Christian creative event, you all. And she said, I want to do something like this for college age people. And I said, all right, we Christian Creative, we want to get behind you and we want to support you and help see this happen, because that's what Christian Creative is about, is connecting people together, being like that petri dish to help launch, because the more that we collectively create as Christians, the bigger reach we have. And like you said, we're sharpening each other's swords, and things happen when we collaborate and we don't just stay in our own little shell of it.
Seriously.
So then,
That's right.
so then she said, well, I have some people that will be interested. And I said, okay, well, when do you want to meet up? And she said on Sunday, and she showed up with 3 other amazing people. At first it was B.
Yeah, Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Yep.
And then there was B, Brian.
Yep.
And G, Garrison.
Yeah.
Just showed up in my living room. And, Garrison and Cassie and Brian, everybody just on fire with this vision. And it was really a God thing, like how, boom, everything just
totally
connected.
Synchronized.
We were all exactly on the same page.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. Like within one meeting, we had kind of the outline of the vision, what we were thinking, like age group wise, theme wise, mission. It was like one of the most divine kind of organizing times that I've seen and been a part of. So,
and we all fit each role perfectly.
Yeah,
like
right. We all had our own
personalities
roles
and everything. It's just all right connected in with each other.
Yeah, it was super exciting. So it's called The Experience. And if you have heard from your parents, or like if you were around during this time, there was like the Jimi Hendrix Experience. There were a whole bunch of those like secular kind of shows. But this is the genuine, the origin of the experience, with God. And it's not like a church event. We're going to have it kind of centered around God, but focusing on arts and redeeming the arts and using them as a tool, as a stepping stone for people to have their own experience. And obviously experience is synonymous with testimony. It's synonymous with story. And we all have those. We all have really, really powerful stories and testimonies. So we're going to share those in key places. And we're going to have incredible musicians as well. Brandon Mosier is going to be there. And me, I'm going to be there. We're going to perform together, and I'm going to do some of my original music as well. Just a little preface about me. If I don't know you, I sing, I write music, I play guitar, I play piano, and I rap. Yeah. Some people live for the fortune.
So he can sing. He can sing. Y'all.
Some people want it all. Yeah. So I'm gonna be there, and we're gonna we're gonna have a really, really good time. So if you have any friends, if you which I know you guys have wonderful social lives. I'm sure you all have friends. Bring them with you. Invite them, and we're gonna have what's the Facebook and Instagram? Do you know the handle? I should know.
The Experience, I think, and at the Experience.
Instagram is Join the Experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have flyers, and we're gonna be hitting up this week. We're gonna have me at Sonoma State University. I'm gonna go to Santa Rosa JC.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be running as much as I can, as many places as I can, talking to people about this. So it's gonna be a
let
good
people
time.
know. Yeah, let people know. Tell people, college age people, come on down, and we want to just keep building on this and reaching out with this, whatever limitless boundaries, wherever this goes, and whatever it, like different branches that it turns into. You're saying like coffee house, and then also going into churches and just sharing the experience and our experience as we go out. Yeah?
Exactly. Yeah. There's which we talked about at our last meeting.
Hey, Uncle Joe.
There's like a kind of a touring, like traveling facet of this.
Yeah.
And outlet for this, and we don't know exactly what that looks like. Whether I'm pretty sure we want to mix up the venue style. Like we're having it at a church. It's over on Petaluma Hill Road in Santa Rosa. And so that's where we're doing it this first event. But it's not like a church event. We're going to go, and it's going to be in a church. So we're going to have, I believe, some prayer opportunities. We're going to have some people like, hey, if you need prayer.
Art going on.
All different styles, like people painting and drawing. And we have tons of original music that's going to happen as well. Or we have original music. We're going to have some rap. Not just me. We have her son as well. Cosmos is going to be there. What a cool name.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah, Mom did really good with the names. And it's going to be a blast. We have a girl named Kirsten.
From Sacramento, huh?
She's coming down from Sacramento. Wonderful voice, great writer as well. A whole bunch of different styles.
So, Uncle Joe, if you're watching this, then we want to take this group and travel to this college age group and come to different churches just to encourage and connect to. So we are willing to travel and and take it on the road and stuff. So.
Yeah. Can you get the address again? Because it was on Instagram.
Okay, so what is the
so
experience?
It's 1314 Petaluma Hill Road.
1314 Petaluma Hill Road, and it's on 420.
It is on
event.
420. Yep.
The experience
from 6 to 9 p.m.
No, but
there will be no 420.
There will be no 420.
There will be no 420 on 420. There's going to be some real cool stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real experience.
So, well, anything else that you wanted to share today?
Oh man. Yeah. To finish. So, we're also. So it's $5. It's a $5 admission fee, and that will go towards coffee, snacks, supporting the experience further.
And the musicians, if we can,
and the musicians,
right?
yes.
Okay, so another time we would like to have you on here to talk about some of these really controversial topics, because that is a controversial topic.
I get heated about it in a good way.
Whether or not to pay the musicians when they show up to the church. So we come back on sometime and talk about that and anything else really controversial.
I'd be glad to. Okay. Yes, controversy is my specialty. So, so it's $5 to get in. And like I said, we're going to have coffee and snacks. So it's like a coffee shop concert vibe.
And prizes.
And prizes, yes.
Giveaways.
We're going to be raffling off some tickets as well, as some other little things.
Yeah.
So stay tuned to that. I don't know if we're going to do that on a live stream here, or we're going to probably do that on our personal experience handles.
Yeah.
But also, just lastly, Uncontained Studios. If you guys are musicians out there, or you have musicians in your family, we do some incredible work over at Uncontained Studios.
Is there a phone number that they can call?
At this moment, there isn't. This is kind of just in the future.
So keep it in prayer and keep it in their minds.
Prayer would be
It's coming down the pipe. Uncontained Studios.
Yeah, we've got a wonderful group of artists, and that's kind of, you see those companies with slogans like buy mechanics for mechanics, or buy bakers for bakers.
Yeah.
Or in our case, it's by artists and for artists, truly. We aren't industry people. We aren't people that want to just take advantage of musicians. We are musicians.
Right.
We've been taken advantage of, so to speak, our whole lives.
So true.
Literally, we've been, messed around. And that's one of the cool things about, for me personally as well, being involved with the studio and being able to be a part of other people's recording processes, is to see that not happen and truly just enjoy creating art and encouraging the visions of people and watching them come to life. It's a wonderful, God-fueled and filled experience, pun intended.
Yeah. Now, the voice from the off. Do you need volunteers for your events?
So Cheryl, who's going to come on in here in a minute, wants to know if we need volunteers. So this is our first time that we're doing this event. Mm-hmm. So at this event, we don't need, the only kind of volunteers we need we're going to discriminate, and it would have to be college age volunteers for this first event. But there, as the experience continues to grow, then we'll be going into other places and doing performances for anything. So this, at some point down the road, we would highly appreciate any volunteers, thank you, and any support, because I think you can really see the impact and the reach that a focused group of young adults going out there who are on fire for God, like any age, we want to support this effort. And we know, if people brought us together to do this, we know there's other groups that are being brought together like this too. So we want to connect with these groups. And just like Cassie, she went on an airplane and she met a former NBA basketball star.
WNBA. Yep, a
woman. And she's going to fly down to LA to spend time with her because she started a Christian group, creative group down in LA.
Yep.
So we're going to, and this is because we connected, and then she connected, and then every connection benefits us all when we are collectively working together.
Little conversation we just had about your studio.
I'm gonna bring you on so that you could actually see. We have to figure out a way how to make this video.
Okay. I am totally, but I just thought if you needed volunteers,
yes,
this would be a good time.
That would
and
be
I'm
awesome.
not getting feed. I keep looking this to see the feed. Are you showing it?
Yes. So Garrison, Bro, thank you so much.
Anytime.
It was really nice.
Yeah, pleasure.
No, that's okay because
I do because Brandon and I are gonna hang out. Brandon, I'm headed over to the studio, dude.
Okay.
And
awesome.
thank you guys. Yeah, I hope you come out and have the experience of a lifetime.
All right. Thanks. See you soon.
See you soon.
Okay. Thanks for stopping by. And now I'm gonna bring on our dear friend Cheryl Halling, and we are going to talk about this awesome book that we have been reading, and it's called The Heart of the Artist. And I put when we made this. Hey, Cheryl. This was the mysterious voice from the other side of the table. And it's so good to see you.
It's good to be on the outside listening because that way I can kind of troubleshoot and go, well, you know, and I mean, what an adventure for these kids.
I mean,
it's
isn't
so
awesome?
beautiful.
I mean, they're all
what a great
and there's all like, and they're like this. They're like clear-minded, focused, sharp, ready to go. There's no like, you know, the single
squirrel.
eye. Yeah, no squirreling. This is like a single eye. They're like boom. So
laser focus. That's so
why I'm
encouraging.
so excited about this show.
You're sitting on a stoop. I feel like we should be sitting. Am I okay?
You're okay.
Am I camera ready?
Your camera ready. So, I just want to maybe just spend a
reconnect.
We're back again.
It has been you know, I feel like, can we share the stoop if I sit over and?
No, then you're.
No.
I think you're fine. I think it's like that one at this. I think that's good on in. Oh, here.
Yes, because I'd be higher. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we are improvising today because we are
lots of technical difficulties.
Lots of technical, but that's like the show must go on, right?
That's exactly
just the way
what this
it is.
chapter actually is.
Hey, Deb.
Part of what the chapter is about.
Deb, will you come join us for coffee sometime? Because I know I really want to meet up with you and hang out with you and spend some time chatting with you, Deb. So we're talking about we had Garrison on and he was awesome. Been saying a little bit. Listen to him because he's young adult who's just on fire for God and creative and starting a new studio and everything. And now Cheryl's joining me and we're talking about the heart of the artist. And we're if you haven't got that book, it's by Rory. Cheryl brought it. There you go. Who's it by? Like,
Rory Nolan. He's the former worship director for Willow Creek in Chicago. And this is a different cover. This is the original cover. So if you go online, you'll see
different cover.
But don't let it. You can order it on Amazon, either audio or hardcover. And we don't make any money from this. She travels a lot. She's a traveling musician. I'm a lot in my home studio, so I actually downloaded the audiobook for the first time last night.
And this is chapter 5 of criticism, right? Handling criticism. That can be rough.
Something we all love.
Do you know, when I first started listening to this chapter, I was like, I can so handle criticism. That is not me, but I sure know a lot of people that I work with who can't handle criticism.
And what happens when you have one finger pointing that way?
There's three pointing back. So as the chapter progressed, I realized how much, and even throughout that day, I started like getting criticisms, like constructive criticisms, and I realized like what a spark. It like ignites my heart a little bit to where I flare up. I'm like,
And that's usually an indication that it's kind of like whenever we hear a good message, whether it's in church or podcast or something, this would be so good for so-and-so. They really need to hear this. This is something that would be life-changing for them.
Why am I hearing it?
Why am I hearing it when they need it? And you're like,
So, and I think it has a lot to do, it could be a lot to do with all sorts of stuff. Upbringing, the way communication was handled in our household. and
or not handled.
Yeah. Like, what do we do? And then also, what are our different personality types? You know, are we reactive, or maybe there's a more introverted person who takes the criticism and doesn't say anything back, but then just keeps it and acts passively aggressively on it.
Oh, that's huge. It's huge, and it's part of our culture too now because of technology. Not to put a negative spin, but when you're used to communicating online and then you get face to face with someone and know how to express yourself in a, you either hold back or you just blast someone out of the water. Right.
And I think he gave a good tool of how do we, what happens when somebody says, hey, will you listen to the song that I just made? Or will you look at, I want to show you my piece of artwork. And sometimes I think the book talks about that. We have to discern, are they actually looking really for our feedback? Or maybe sometimes they just want to hear, like, that's awesome. Like, they just want to hear encouragement because maybe they don't have an audience all the time to put their stuff in, or they just need that boost. It's like, yeah. So I think one of the things, if somebody asks specifically, will you listen to this, like, with a critical ear? Mm-hmm. I really want to know, because, like, honestly, sometimes I don't want to know I don't want to hear it. I just want somebody to listen to it, and I don't want any feedback. But then sometimes I want somebody to give me feedback. What do you think about this? So I think that's important. And he gave some exact things that we could do. Is that he said, give an overall reaction first. Like, overall, that is great,
Or acknowledge that someone is coming to you saying, I really appreciate the fact that you want my opinion. Because sometimes actually people ask, but they really don't want to know.
That's
or
right.
like you said, they want the positive feedback. But I think I want you to finish your thought. I think there's a flip side to that as well, is that sometimes, like, I work in a booth. I do voiceover. I work in a I'm home all by myself most of the time, trying, if I'm not doing online coaching or I'm in a class or whatever, but sometimes you just create a piece of art. And what I'm learning to do is to step away from it and then listen to it before I even put it out there. Because sometimes you think it's great because you're so excited that you actually created something, but then you put it out there and you listen to it and go, oh, and by then you've gotten blasted by everyone and their mother's got an opinion. But there's, to realize we're sensitive human beings.
Yes.
And we have to handle, not with kid gloves. You want people to be honest. But there's a way to speak the truth in love to where you're not blowing someone out of the water and they shut you off, but they can receive the information that you're giving them.
Yeah, because sometimes you have something that can change, transform maybe somebody's, the missing link, or something that could really make an improvement. But how to deliver? And you know what my mom always told me? It's like an Oreo cookie. It's like, first you say something really nice, like, oh, da-da-da, and then you say what could be changed, and then you follow it up with something really nice. And so then everything all together makes it like this palatable thing. And so then, in this book, he was saying that if you come in first and focus on the one little thing that was maybe needed a tweak or a change, then the artist perceives like the whole, that's what you saw out of the whole thing. So if someone comes with criticism for us, he was encouraging us to say, acknowledge the hard work they put in it. Even if you don't like what they were doing, maybe at least he said we could acknowledge, hey, you put a lot into that, find something. So I thought that was a helpful bit of information
it's a really
in this
helpful
book.
bit, because I think in knowing you and being I'm married to a musician. I come from a creative family. I mean, we tend to be very hard on ourselves and wanting to be perfect.
Yeah.
And so if we focus on an imperfection, I think sometimes it's because we want to do better.
Yeah.
That's why it's called creativity, because you're creating. You want to advance past the last thing you created. But in reality, it's really important. I love the analogy he gave about the woodworker who made this beautiful table.
Yeah.
And then there's a small blemish on it, and that's the only thing someone saw, and that was the first thing they mentioned.
Right.
So all this beautiful work this man did on this table was kind of like, all he heard was, oh wow, there's a blemish, so therefore everything else I created isn't worth anything. And doesn't mean you still couldn't put something on the book or a coffee or display it in your, have it as a centerpiece in your home. No, it just means that the person who first saw it responded to something that really wasn't affirming of all the work that person
overall did. Yeah, and I think sometimes people have come to me for advice or something, and I think there's pride in there, like, yeah, I can give you advice, I can easily see everything that you need to fix, and I'm going to be like an expert here and tell you when I think I've got to be careful of that when you're teaching, when you're coaching, it's easy to be in that position to see the other person's flaws instead of the encouragement. And then also sometimes people come to us for work, like say for instance, different people coming and say, we want to do a project with you, and like, well, maybe this didn't work out exactly right. You can't take that personally either. That's like, it's not necessarily criticism, but it could still trigger that, like, oh,
I'm a failure, or
it's not
nothing
good
I
enough,
do is good
or
enough.
yeah. But the way that people deliver that helps too. Like Cheryl and Mark and I were working on some projects, and we're like, this worked for us, but we're going to take a project and have somebody else work on this part. But the way that they delivered it was like, we appreciate everything that you guys did for us, and this is so awesome, but we need something a little different here. And I've done that with my projects too, like going into the recording studio and have people, like, I thought that I wanted to work on production, but it wasn't sounding the way that I wanted. And I have to express, I like, there's one of your posts is like, I believe in what's in here, and I need to see this like manifested in a certain way. And if that's not happening, I need to take the next step because I believe in my vision to come out this way. So we have to stay focused on that despite, we can't, I don't think that we need to care about other people's feelings, but we always have to keep in vision and not over caretake for people's feelings.
You hit the nail
right?
on the head. That's part of being passive aggressive too,
right.
and being an enabler, and as if you're not worthy enough to take care of your vision and your art.
Right.
I had a great worship director in Los Angeles tell me once when we were rehearsing, she said, Cheryl, you have to ask for what your creativity needs. And I didn't really understand that. And she said, look, if you're not getting what you need out of this rehearsal, or you're not getting what you need out of fill in the blank, you need to ask for that. Because if you're quiet and you acquiesce because you want to be a peacekeeper and you don't want to say anything to offend anybody, then you're not feeding what your vision and what your truth is. And that's part of being passive.
Yeah.
And then you blow people out of the water. Eventually it boils up to where I'm not getting what I need. Well, whose fault is that?
Right.
Have you let people know in a collaborative effort what you need? And that's all part of, I think, this particular chapter zeroed in on us taking constructive criticism, which it always starts with us.
Yeah.
Not that it's always about us, but it starts with us, like, what's my part in this? How am I being a positive contributor to this? But I think it's also how we, like you said, how do we approach fellow artists and give them constructive criticism to where we're honoring their talent and we're giving them what they need, because it's, again, that collaborative effort.
It is, and I think coming back to being a good hang, it's like, really, it's like a lot
Are we a good
hang? So I just think, like, our art, we have to excel.
It's so musician, by the way.
Be a good hang. I learned that from Bob Kilpatrick. So what I want to say is that we can be the best musicians and we can be the best artists, but if we can't communicate, if we don't keep trying to look at those aspects of our personalities where we need to morph and change those and always be addressing them, we could not get the calls, we could not get the jobs. People will not want to work with us. So, I always go back to that Enneagram and I try to see who I am, and a lot of times the people close in my life remind me of who I am. Like, there you go again, you're being, this or that.
You're being you,
but it's going a little over too far to this side. And I think it's good to have those people in our lives, speaking into our lives, reminding us So I just want to encourage all the Christian creatives out there to keep working on communication skills, keep softening our hearts to hear constructive criticism, because really it's for our own betterment. Like if you can hear it and there's some truth in there that can help transform and change you as a person, as an artist, make your walk closer to God. If people are telling you something, it helps to listen, and then to encourage people to let's be careful how we're delivering our criticism to other people.
Yeah, there's always pearls in what even if people do blow you out of the water, you got to step back a moment and go, is there a pearl of truth to this? Is there something that will help me grow? And Mandy and I, when we were running over from Crooks we're now at Pete's because we were having Wi-Fi fail, which is all part of going with the flow.
That's
right. Is saying that no matter what age we're at, we tend to think that, oh, I've arrived. I had something happen a couple of months ago with an online class that I took, a coaching class with voiceover, and I got some feedback, and I responded via a personal message to the coach thinking that I was just explaining why I did something. But then in reading this chapter, I was like, there probably was a level of defense, because I felt like, oh, wow, I would have thought I would have covered that already.
Right.
Hey, we're always, I would like to think that until the day we breathe our last breath, we are always growing. We are always learning. We are always, hopefully, absorbing the lessons that are around us. So that's important too, to go, well, just because you've been in the business a certain amount of time doesn't mean you've got it all covered. Right.
And I think that's a really important point of creating together, creating collaboratively. We can all, go into our own place and block ourselves out and create on our own. But when we start to create with other people, it brings up those issues. It brings up those things inside of it. And I think, like having a collective like this Christian Creative Collective, it brings those experiences where we can hopefully safely, point out those things to each other and work on those things to each other. There was a verse in here, it's Proverbs 27:5-6. Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Like in Christianity, we should be able to have hopefully some kind of relationship with each other where we can tell each other in love, I see this, or this is a concern to me, and have that heartfelt communication and work through that. So I hope that Christian Creative is a place where people can experience those times. Not everything always works perfectly. Not everything always goes your way. How are we going to work through it? How are we going to handle it? And having other people speak into our lives help keep us accountable. Yeah.
We could do a whole
thing on that.
On accountability, and that's big now, because we're kind of in a time where we want a place. It's always somebody else's issue. It's always somebody this, that, and the other. And the more we hold ourselves accountable on each other, it's kind of like, what is the term where you raise all the boats in the dock?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's not good enough. You're just rising and you're just growing. You want the people around you to do the same, because it just makes us better.
We need each other with the overall focus and mission of getting the message of the gospel out there, of getting Christ, of being that conduit for our hands, our voice, whatever that we're working with. That's the ultimate, us having that relationship with Christ, that others will come into a relationship with Christ. And the last Bible verse I had here is 1 Corinthians 13:5. Says, don't be easily provoked.
What?
I know.
What do you mean?
I know. I don't struggle with that at all. No. So I just want to give encouragement.
You could spend just a lifetime on that right there. Mm-hmm.
So I just want to encourage everybody, and like everyone says, mostly myself, I want to say, but I do, just encourage each other. Let's try to not be passive aggressive about stuff, but let's have good communication skills so that we can get work and that we can work with each other.
Well, so that we can maintain our, like this morning, I slept like maybe 3 or 4 hours last night, and I texted Mandy and said, I'm not going to be there this morning. I'm sorry to bow out on you. You got Garrison coming by, you're covered. And she could have she could have blown me out of the water and said, "What do you mean? I was counting on you. I already put it." But she didn't. She's like,
I've thought about saying that.
I felt it. I felt it.
But I didn't.
I felt it in the spirit, girlfriend. That's why I put some spatula on, and I put some clothes on, and I got my coffee.
And that's so sweet. But I value Cheryl as a human being, and where would that?
I value that she wouldn't hang me up at the last minute.
I mean, I value her as a human being, and stuff happens.
Why are you unbuttoning? Are you nervous?
I have ADD, after a certain point, I'm like, I gotta
just
go.
So you know, she's doing her snacks.
I gotta go. But I just, but
do you have to go?
No, I mean, it's just like it gets to a certain point. I'm like, I gotta go to the next thing, whatever the next thing is. I don't know, but I just really value Cheryl, and I know that sometimes different things come up, and sometimes people can't. We're not robots. We're not humans. We gotta work with each. We're robots. We're not robots. I'm already in the next place.
I know.
We're humans.
I love Mandy because she focuses laser right there, and then when the next thing's up, she's like,
over here.
Gotta go.
Gotta go over here.
Gotta go.
I
committed
and
totally
you.
Focused.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today, Cheryl. And thank you for joining us, Garrison.
Yes, thank you. Oh, Garrison.
And Zaz was on earlier,
yes,
too.
Zaz is
awesome.
Your children. Can I speak about your children?
Yes.
Shout out to your children.
Thank you.
Who are amazing. I mean, if you haven't checked out Small Hat, which is the family
band.
I hate to say band because it's more than that. It's really your own collective. I mean, you really do. They're artists and musicians. I mean, your daughter
does art,
Justina, beautiful art. I mean, she does henna, she does jewelry. I mean, she does, what doesn't she do? Roller skates during
rehearsals.
And both of your sons are so.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to that. But yeah, with Garrison coming by and the whole experience thing, you know what? Go out and support. If you have children, teenagers or young.
Wait, we're playing tonight at the Hop Monk.
Oh yeah.
And we have a featured spot where we'll play 4 or 5 songs. So if you're around, come and give a shout out. We put together a really high active show. We have C.D. Thompson joining us on bass, and boom, boom, boom. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And I also wanted to give a shout out to your husband Mark, because he put out. You all put together an awesome YouTube live video here, and I think you even posted it on the Christian Creative page.
Oh, I don't think it was Facebook.
On Facebook, sorry.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so,
okay.
do you want to give a quick shout out about what he's doing there?
Well, I won't go into too much detail, but it is a project that actually he's had on his heart since we met.
That's great.
And my husband's a drummer. He's an awesome drummer. We actually met at the worship team for our former church here in Sonoma County. And he set a vision for a music project that, you know, again, I'm going to go back to the heart of the artist and also kind of expand upon that no matter what age you are, if you have a vision for something, who's to say? It's like the quote that I say, it may be your vision and no one else sees it, but it's your dream and go for it. So it's a big project. He's working with somebody. He found a collaborator that they're working hand in hand who's just as on fire for this project as he is, which is amazing because that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
We need people to catch the fire.
That's right.
And come alongside us.
Yes. And did he reconnect with this collaborator
yes.
at a Christian creative event? So this was
because of you. This. That's right.
Yeah,
because of you.
Well, because of the collective.
Because of the
collective. But he had known this person before, but then reconnected. So this is the kind of stuff that
how it all just getting
together.
Yourself out there. And I'm working on a podcast called Thrive After 55. It's for men and women who are in the creative field that maybe they're finally getting into their heart's desires and passions, or they've been in like there's one musician that I will be interviewing that I call it the set. Someone goes, that's so why are you self-effacing? I go, it's a podcast that may never air because there's bits and pieces that are all over the place that I'm trying to get together as what's the big deal? Turn on the microphone and do a podcast. Well, actually, I'm working on sponsorship. I'm working on traveling musicians. I'm working, with production because I have a vision for it, kind of at the level of my husband's vision for his music project. I want it to be really good. So when I
Yes.
launch it, it's consistent.
Yes.
It's out there.
Yes.
And I have musicians locally who are already contacting me,
Awesome.
and also other artists.
Awesome.
So if you're, I hate to say that she's not part of it yet, but enjoy your young years.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's for 55
I'm in my
and older.
20s, so
yes. You, 20 is the new 50.
yeah.
Or the other way around.
Something
like that. So that's my project, and as well as doing my voiceover, as well as doing this, and some other things. So anyway, I know we've got to get on with our day.
Yeah, we got to get on with our day.
Because no one's watching now.
That's okay.
That's okay.
We'll talk anyway. But it was a joy. It was a joy.
Are you listening?
Sometimes,
hi. How are you?
And sometimes after we end it, then we start to really get into some meaty discussions sometimes too. But anyway, keep creating. You all are awesome. And Heart of the Artist is a great book. We love you. Be encouraged.
Get the audio book.
Yeah.
If you want to join us, when are you back?
Yeah. Well, next week I'll do another one. If anybody wants to join us, feel free. Come talk to us. Come join us and we'll put you on live.
We'll figure out where we're going to be.
We'll figure out where maybe this
wherever
is a better
Wi-Fi's
better Wi-Fi. Yeah. So, but thank you. And the chapter today was about accepting constructive criticism and being able to give it in ways that others can hear. So God bless you all on your journey on that.
Have a beautiful day.
Love and peace.
If you need some people to collaborate, reach out in Christian Creative.
Yeah.
Reach out to Mandy or myself.
Yeah.
Stay connected.
Yeah.
It's not enough just to be on Facebook. You really need to get out and connect. It's good for the soul. And we just wish you a great day.
Yeah.
Great week.
Yeah.
And just keep creating.
Keep creating. Bye.